A very good evening. From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. I'm Vidushni Sadish Kumar.
Good evening. I am Lakshit Singha. We start off by taking a quick look at the headlines.
The Mahasangha reiterates that the duty of the people is to support the future program of the president who has rescued masses from an unknown pandemic. Minister Dala Salahapperuma says that the responsibility of the media is to socialize true information on the booster vaccine instead of spreading misinformation. The Ceylon Electricity Board reiterates that there will not be power cuts. A candy-bound train from Colombo splits into two in Mirigama. 25 persons die in an unexpected snowstorm in a mountainous area in Pakistan.
On to those and other stories in detail. We start off with the top story. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has worshipped the Jai Sri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura this morning. The President, upon arrival in Anuradhapura yesterday, has called on Chief Incumbent of the Atamasthana, Venerable Dr. Pallegama Sirinivasa Thera this morning. The President has discussed with the Thera on the construction of a vehicle park as well. Thereafter, he has venerated the sacred Jai Sri Mahabodhi. The Mahasangha has chanted Pirit and extended blessings to the President. A large number of students sitting for this year's scholarship and GCE advanced level examinations were also at the premises venerating the sacred Bodhi. The President was engaged in a cordial discussion with the devotees, including the students. The President has also visited the sacred Ruwanweli Mahasaya last afternoon. He has also met the Venerable Pallegama Hemaratna Thera of the Viharasthana. The Venerable Thera has presented to the President a book of poetry compiled by him. The President was later on engaged in religious observances in front of the Ruwanweli Mahasaya. He has also joined as an Ashirwada Puja of this new year organized by the Ministry of Irrigation. Ministers Chamal Rajapaksa and S.M. Chandrasena and Chief of Staff of Defence and Army Commander General Shavindra Silva were also present. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has also visited the Mirisavatiya Vihara this morning and engaged in conversation with the chief incumbent of the Vihara and Chancellor of the Rajarat University, Venerable Dr. Itala Vetunavave Gnanatilaka Thera.
The Ceylon Electricity Board says that the malfunctioning electricity generating system in the Kalnithissa power station has been restored to normalcy at dawn today. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has agreed to supply fuel oil to all fuel plants in the CEB. However, a 300 megawatts capacity generator at the Norachole coal-powered power station continues to remain inactive. The fuel-powered plants are compelled to generate the 300 megawatts power deprived to the country due to operational failure of the generator. Subsequently, a generator at the Kalnithissa plant has also failed to function. This was a 20-year-old machine. General Manager of the CEB, M.R. Ranatunga, said that after a strenuous effort, they were able to reactivate the machine. Another problem has cropped up due to the Petroleum Corporation's decision to suspend the supply of fuel oil to the board. However, upon discussions between the two parties, the CPC has expressed willingness to resume supply of oil to all fuel-powered plants. The CEB General Manager says that the Kalnithissa and other power stations are now receiving the required fuel oil supplies. He has expressed optimism on continuous power supplies without breakdowns.
Constructions in the Moragolla hydroelectricity scheme in Kotmale have been expedited. This is the final large-scale hydroelectricity project to be constructed along the Mahaveli River. The Moragolla hydroelectricity plant is scheduled to add 30.5 megawatts of power to the national grid. The Moragolla project has gotten underway in January of 2021. A sum of $135 million is being spent on the project. A dam of a height of 37 meters and length of 237 meters is to be erected across the Mahaveli River. The dam will pave the way for accumulation of water in a reservoir of an extent of 38.5 hectares. The waters will then be flown through a tunnel of 2.7 kilometers long to electricity generating machines. State Minister Duminda Disanayaka has inspected the progress of construction recently. He said that the project is expected to be completed by the end of the year 2023.
Minister of Power Udaya Gamanpilla says that it is surprising to find the organizations which had remained silent at the time of India keeping in its possession the oil tanks in Trincomalee, now expressing protest when Sri Lanka regained ownership of the properties. He has further pointed out that organizations and professional unions which are preparing for agitations to carefully inspect the relevant documents. Minister Udaya Gamanpilla said that the groups which had not protested when India was handed over 99 oil tanks in the year 2003 are now engaged in agitations when 85 out of the 99 tanks were taken into the control of Sri Lanka. The minister said that he was perplexed by the behavior of these persons. The oil tanks had remained defunct for a period of nearly 100 years due to complete abandonment. They were undergoing a process of decay. He has questioned as to why protests have been launched when preparations are being made to utilize the tanks for the well-being of the people in the country. The minister further said that the opposition, spearheaded by the Janata Vimukti Peramuna and the Samagi Jana Balawegya, are engaged in a false propaganda campaign. He added that they were spreading rumours regarding 14 oil tanks was scheduled to be regained by Sri Lanka in 2 years' time. Minister Gamanpilla further said that all his statements are based on written evidence. The minister added that the Joint Trade Union Collective to Safeguard National Resources of Oil, Ports and Electricity should listen to the facts and understand the true situation prior to engaging in protests. The minister has invited them to meet him as he would be able to furnish them accurate information.
The Ananda Nahimi Kulapati Upahara ceremony to felicitate Chancellor of the Colombo University, Chief Incumbent of the Sri Abhyarame Narahempita and Chief Sanganayaka of the Western Province, Venerable Muruttettuwe Ananda Thera, was held at the BMICH in Colombo today. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has presided over the event. The Public Services United Nurses Association has organized the felicitation ceremony. The Prime Minister has presented to the Nayaka Thera the Ananda Nahimi Kulapati Upahara volume. Minister Keheli Rambukwella was also present. Among others who were at the ceremony included the Mahasangha headed by Venerable Madagoda Abhiyatissa Thera and Venerable Gatamane Gunananda Thera, clergymen of other religious denominations, Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemantha Herath and officials of the Public Services United Nurses Association.
Well, now on to our Corona local update. The inoculating of children between the ages of 12 and 15 years is being carried out successfully in several areas in the country. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Medical Council says in every pregnancy after the delivery of first and second doses to the expecting mothers, measures will be taken to inoculate whatever type of immunization vaccine. Vaccination of children between the ages of 12 and 15 years under the COVID immunization program has commenced yesterday. It is scheduled to be implemented throughout the island. The school children are being inoculated with the Pfizer vaccine.
We are giving the booster vaccine and every opportunity should be used to get that vaccine, and then we are giving the Pfizer vaccine as recommended by the World Health Organization. Especially when it comes to children, we started vaccinating 16 to 19 years age group, and it was done in the schools especially, and a large number of children were vaccinated, and today we started vaccinating the age group 12 to 15 years. That is also very important because 15 years plus belong to O-level age group, the students who do the O-level, and especially 18 plus age group belong to the students who do the A-level. As we know, O-level and A-level are very important milestones of our children's school going age because it will determine their future profession and their well-being and economically as well as profession. So that is very important. So up to now I think we have given around 1.1 million doses to the children. We expected some of the special complications when we reach this number, like in other countries, but we have not experienced those things. Most of the complications are very minor in number and then scale also. Most are like swelling, the pain in the specific area where the vaccine has been given, etc. And at the end of this month, we hope to give the second dose to the 16-19 age group children, and then as one of the leading associations, what we request from the parents is to use every opportunity to get the vaccine to their children. If they have any concerns, please discuss with the relevant consultants or the medical officers. And if they have any question or if they feel their children are ill after getting the vaccine, they should not hesitate to seek treatment. All the doctors and all the hospitals are geared for that, and we want to do best for our children in our country, and we do our best to protect them. The pregnant mothers, current context, what we recommend is during first pregnancy, if they have not received the vaccine, they can get the vaccine at any trimester, first or second or third, and they can get 2 doses 1 month apart, whatever the vaccine, and then subsequent pregnancies they will get another booster dose. And by looking at the numbers, we experienced around 56 deaths in latter part of the year 2021, and up to now we have not encountered death due to COVID complicating pregnancy. That's a huge achievement, and credit should go to the Ministry of Health and the obstetricians, their association and other stakeholders who executed it nicely, and then they promoted it among the pregnant mothers.
A total of 34,136,251 vaccine doses have been inoculated to the people in the country under the COVID-19 immunization program. Accordingly, 16,003,686 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, while 13,856,165 have received both doses. A total of 4,276,400 have received the booster dose thus far. A program on inoculation of the booster vaccine on media personnel has commenced at the Sri Jayawardenepura Hospital today. Minister Dallas Alaperima has also received the booster vaccine on this occasion. The program is being carried out under 4 stages on the 8th, 9th, 15th and 16th of this month from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day. The media persons who have received the second dose on the 24th and 27th of last month under the second stage of the vaccination program are able to receive the booster vaccine from tomorrow. The media personnel who have received the second dose on the 4th and 17th of July and the third stage are able to receive the booster vaccine on the 16th of this month. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Anusha Palpita, Director of the Sri Jayawardenepura Hospital, Dr. Ratnasiri Hewage, Director General of the Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Jampati Bandara Kenda have also taken part in this event. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 13 COVID-19 deaths which have occurred yesterday. 11 of fatalities were of the age of 60 and above. The attention of the Ministry of Finance has been focused on the speedy implementation of a relief program targeting plantation labor under the government relief package. Accordingly, the state laborers are being entitled to a concession of 50 rupees for every kilo of flour. A decision has been made to grant the relief, taking into consideration of the living standard of the plantation labor upon the President's stern attention on their plight. Each family could purchase 15 kilos of flour at relief prices. The price of a kilo of flour in the market is 120 rupees. The plantation labor is entitled on a 40 rupee concession of each kilo of flour. Every plantation family registered employees Provident Fund are eligible to receive the concession. The Cabinet has granted approval recently to conduct talks with the employers regarding the provision of 5,000 rupee allowance to workers in the private sector under the government's relief package. The first discussion was held in the Labour Ministry yesterday between the trade unions and the Minister of Labour, Nimal Siripala de Silva. On this occasion, trade union leaders have presented many proposals relating to obtaining of the 5,000 rupee allowance. The minister said that the proposals will be submitted to the Cabinet and steps will be taken to hand over the 5,000 rupee allowance. Several more funds of discussions are to be conducted.
The 123rd birth anniversary of the founder of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, late Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike, was commemorated in front of his statue at the Golfers Green in Colombo today. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumartung and Sunetra Bandaranaike have placed floral tributes before the statue. Members of the SLFP as well as MPs and ministers of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna have also paid their respect by offering flowers on this occasion. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumartunga said that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has done away with the Bandaranaike vision. The party leaders of today are not commemorating the event and therefore they themselves have remembered the birth anniversary. Meanwhile, President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and former President Maithripala Sirisena has presided over another floral tribute in front of the Bandaranaike statue. 75% of work has been completed on a bridge linking Navala and Angampitiya, erected on columns. The length of the bridge is 600 meters. It has been pointed out that the bridge would become a solution to the traffic congestion in Sri Jayawardhanapura Kotte. The bridge is being constructed by the State Development and Designing Corporation through utilization of the expertise of local engineers. The government's aim is to give more opportunities to local engineers in the country's development programs. Up to now, travelling from Navala to Sri Jayawardhanapura Kotte and Pitakotte was restricted to a path of 5 kilometers. The government is spending a sum of 1,800 million rupees in the construction of the 600-meter-long bridge based on 23 pillars. The columns are being manufactured in local concrete yards. The bridge is being constructed across a wetland, causing minimum damage to the environment.
Now the news feature titled Abhiyoga Madhahadena Rata, produced by the Presidential Media Division. With the halting of the importation of turmeric, the society has focused more attention on the topic. As a result, more people have turned into cultivating turmeric. Today, successful turmeric cultivation is witnessed in the country. Today's focus is on this issue. Secretary to the State Ministry of Minor Plantation Crop Development and Related Industrial and Export Promotion, Rohan Aberatne, said that Sri Lanka's production was at 1,600 metric tons. However, the country's requirement was around 7,300 metric tons. The country has imported the shortfall, spending large amount of foreign exchange. He added that the President, through his Saubhagya Dakma policy, has implemented programs to promote turmeric cultivation in the country. The Secretary further said that his ministry has set up 5 turmeric seed parks. A relief amounting to 45,000 rupees has been given for cultivating of half-acre of turmeric. He further said, in the year 2022, Sri Lanka will produce the required quantity of 7,300 metric tons. Sri Lanka would be in a position even to export the surplus. He also said that they have established the Spice Corporation as well. There are other spices which are in demand like the turmeric. He added that the promotion of these spices would enable the consumers to receive them at concessionary prices.
We now take a look at more local news items in brief. 68 bhikkhus and bhikkhunis from India, Nepal and Tibet have arrived in the island today. The objective of the Buddhist delegation is to venerate the sacred site in Sri Lanka, including the Sri Padasthana. They will remain in the country for a period of 10 days. Our correspondent says that large numbers of devotees are arriving to venerate the sacred Sri Padasthana. SLTV buses have been deployed for transportation of pilgrims from Hatton railway station to Nallatanni. A pioneering institute in the marketing of coconut-related products, the Silver Mill Natural Beverages Company has introduced its products to the retail sales network of the Lanka Satusa recently. The produce of the company included liquid coconut milk, thambili and coconut water, as well as coconut vinegar. Minister Bandula Gunawardena and Ramesh Patirana were also present on the occasion. Provision of solar-powered electricity to houses in the Battalangundu Island in Kalpitiya has taken place yesterday. The program was conducted according to the Saubhagya Dakma policy statement and in parallel to the national program titled Renewable Power to the Forefront. Minister Ali Sabri, State Minister Sanat Nishant and Parliamentarian Chintaka Amal Mayadunne have also graced the event. The Senkadagala Manike train, which left Colombo Fort at 4:30 p.m. today to Kandy, has split into 2 parts in Mirigama. One of the sections has travelled a distance of 500 meters. The railway engineers have restored the situation. Nobody was injured in the incident.
Director General of Zoological Gardens, Sharmila Rajapaksa, says that local and foreign tourists in large numbers are visiting the Pinnawala Elephant Orphanage. 30,000 tourists have arrived at the Elephant Conservation Centre last month alone. The Pinnawala Elephant Orphanage has earned an income of 13 million rupees last month. Female elephant Surangi has given birth to twins. The 2 calves are being accustomed to the environment. A correspondent says that tourists show a great interest in watching the baby elephants and their mother. The visitors are being requested to follow health guidelines, including maintaining distance.
Final rites on the remains of late veteran actor Robin Fernando is scheduled to be conducted tomorrow. The body now lies at a private funeral parlor in Borella. The 84-year-old actor has passed away today while receiving treatment in a private hospital. Robin Fernando was born in 1937 and was an old boy of St. Benedict's College, Colombo. He had shown excellence in the field of sports since his school days. He had won colors in the sports of karate and gymnastics. Fernando had entered cinema through acting in the Hinganakolla film. Later on, he had embarked upon the television screen through appearance in the Irabatu Tharuwa teledrama. Robin Fernando has made an unforgettable mark in the Sinhala cinema as an actor of proficiency in the art of fighting. He had contributed in acting to numerous characters in the movies, including Singapore Charlie, Jeevana Ganga, Sikuruliya, Apeksha, Sankapali, Kaudahari, Suradutiyo, Anjana, Singhabahu and Maharaja Jasat. He had also shown his acting skills in many teledramas such as Bogala Soundaris, Himaratriya and Sekkugedara. In most instances, Robin Fernando has joined the Sinhala cinema as a fighting actor and an art director in fighting. And that's all the stories for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, stay safe. Good night.
Good night.